At 11:47 p.m., a hospital number lit up Kosuke's phone, a number he hadn't seen in 10 years.
It's late. Who the hell is this?
My name is Reina. I am a nurse. Your father, Hideo, is seriously ill. He's been asking for you.
Asking for me. He gave up that right years ago.
He's not asking you to forgive him. He only wants you to come get a box in person before it's too late.
A box? What is this? Some kind of game?
He said it has the truth about what happened, that it's time you knew.
The truth. He lied for years, and now he wants me to believe there's a box with the truth.
I only know what he told me, but I've seen his regret. This isn't a trick.
Kosuke hung up without another word. But the box and the voice that spoke of it wouldn't leave his mind. After the call, Kosuke sat in the dark for an hour before his eyes found the old photograph on the table.
10 years. And he still thinks he deserves a minute of my time.
The memory cut in like a knife. The night he screamed at his father, slammed the door, and swore never to come back.
He didn't even try to stop me. Just stood there with that stupid look.
Kosuke picked up the photo, his mother's smile fading with age, then tossed it back onto the table. He paced the room, then pulled a duffel from the closet and threw in a change of clothes.
I am not doing this for him. The nurse said the truth. Fine. I'll go hear it. Then I'll walk away again.
He booked a ticket on his phone, the screen lighting his face in the dim room.
What am I even hoping to find? An apology written on a piece of paper.
He grabbed his bag and walked out, the door clicking shut behind him. The hospital waited. The early train carried Kosuke through gray morning light, his reflection a ghost against the passing fields.
Last time I made this trip was for Mom's funeral. He stood in the back like a stranger.
He stepped off at the station and walked the rest of the way. The hospital loomed ahead, cold and indifferent. In the lobby, a woman with auburn hair approached, the voice from the phone now in front of him.
Kosuke, right? I am Reina. I am glad you came.
Let's not pretend this is a social call. Where's the box?
We'll get to that. But first, your father doesn't know I called. He doesn't know you are here.
You brought me here behind his back?
He would never have agreed. He thinks he's owed nothing, so I made the choice myself.
She motioned toward a waiting room down the hall, her expression unreadable. Kosuke followed, tension coiling in his chest. The waiting room table held only one thing: a worn cardboard box bound with old twine.
He wanted you to have this. He's been holding on to it for 10 years.
So he waited until he was dying to dump it on me. Typical.
Number. He thought you'd refuse. I am the one who made the call.
She extended the box. Kosuke's hands moved, then hovered, as if touching it would burn.
Stop trembling. It's just a box. He doesn't get to make me feel like this.
Take your time. I'll be outside. But whatever you decide, don't leave without knowing what's inside.
The door closed. The sound of her footsteps faded. The box sat in his lap now, quiet and accusing.
10 years without him. Is this supposed to fix something, or just rip open old wounds?
He didn't open it. Not yet. But the weight of it was already crushing his chest. He finally untied the twine and lifted the lid, decades of silence falling away in a breath. The first thing he saw was a photograph. His mother, smiling with the same warmth he could barely recall.
Mom, you were always the anchor, and he kept this after everything.
Beneath it, a stack of letters, the top one marked with his name in his father's scrawl. Kosuke, if you are reading this, I am gone. I never wanted you to know, but silence has cost you too much. I didn't abandon you. I took on a debt that would have destroyed your mother's name.
Debt? What debt? He never said a single word.
The scandal she was caught in. The town would have torn her apart. I paid to bury it. Every yen I should have sent you went to keep her memory clean.
He worked himself sick, and I thought he just didn't care. This changes everything.
The letter went on. Years of sacrifice, of living on nothing so the truth wouldn't come out.
All this time, I blamed him for leaving, and he was protecting her, even if it meant I hated him.
He dug deeper. Bank statements, loan agreements. The numbers were staggering, debts that would have crushed any man.
How did he survive? Working triple shifts for years, and I called him a coward.
A soft knock. Then the door opened. Reina stepped in with a paper cup, her eyes steady and careful.
You looked like you were going to pass out. Drink this.
You knew what was in here. You didn't just call me to be nice.
I read some of it when he insisted. He wanted me to understand why he asked you here.
Understand. You work here 6 months, and suddenly you know my family's secrets.
I know he never stopped loving you. He never stopped regretting.
She knows. She knows more than she's saying. Why does she care so much?
The water sat on the table, untouched. The air between them thickened with things unsaid. A creased receipt caught his eye. To Nakamura, monthly assistance. The amount was paltry, but the consistency spanned years.
Nakamura. Not a business, not a creditor. My father had nothing left. So who was he paying for years after I left? You know who Nakamura is. This receipt is tied to you somehow, isn't it?
I don't know what you are implying. I just found that name in his papers like you did.
You are lying through your teeth. You've been too invested in this family from the start. No stranger cares that much.
I've been his nurse. That's my job. But yes, I've seen things, heard things.
Kosuke stepped closer, holding up the slip like evidence in a trial.
Then stop protecting him. If you know why I should forgive a man who abandoned me, spit it out.
It's about debts that weren't yours. But I can't be the one to tell you.
She pushed past him. Quick footsteps down the hall. The door swung shut, but the air was charged with unsaid truths. Alone in the corridor, Kosuke leaned against the cold wall. The receipt still crumpled in his fist.
Nakamura. The family that was blamed. Years of payments. Not charity, but guilt.
His mind painted a scene he'd never witnessed. His father, anonymous, pushing an envelope across a shadowed alley.
Reina's mother. She was the one wronged. And Reina became a nurse just to meet the man who'd been silently paying.
He pushed off the wall and strode back to the room where she'd fled. He pushed open the door. She sat rigid in the small office, knuckles white on her lanyard.
Your mother. She was the one, wasn't she? The woman the town blamed for the scandal.
The question landed like a physical blow. Every drop of color drained from her face. She couldn't lie anymore. Her silence was the only answer she could give. He waited, the receipt still damp in his grip, for her to finally share the truth.
My mother was Nakamura, the woman the town blamed. Your father, he paid for everything.
The words tumbled out, each one carrying years of hidden gratitude and pain.
Your father paid for her funeral. For my education. He never signed a single letter.
All those payments, he wasn't just hiding. He was trying to make amends to the family he couldn't save.
When I became a nurse, I requested his unit. I had to meet the man who'd carried our weight.
You knew for months. Why didn't you just tell me yourself?
He made me promise not to. He said you'd only believe the truth from his own hand.
So you went behind his back. You called me anyway, defying his last wish.
I couldn't let both of you die without the truth. You deserve to know what kind of man he was.
Kosuke stood frozen as her words settled over him, the world rearranging around the weight of her confession. Then Reina reached into her pocket and withdrew a worn envelope. The paper yellowed with age.
My mother wrote this to your father years ago. I found it in his things. She never knew he was there, but she thanked him.
He took it like glass, his fingers brushing hers. The letter was short. To the stranger who saved us, I don't know your name, but my daughter will become someone because of you.
She never knew who he was. He didn't just pay, he made sure they never felt indebted. That idiot, I need to see him. Now.
He's at the end of the hall. He might not wake up every time, but he's still there.
She led him past the nurse's station, the corridor stretching into silence. Outside his father's door, Kosuke paused, his hand hovering over the handle. He pushed the handle down, and the door opened onto a decade of waiting. Inside the room, his father lay asleep, his body swallowed by white sheets, the monitor a quiet metronome of borrowed time.
He looks so small. Not the giant I ran from 10 years ago, just a tired man with too many secrets.
Kosuke lowered himself into the chair beside the bed, the old anger still coiled in his chest, but something softer pulsed underneath. Then the father's eyes fluttered open, unfocused at first, before they fixed on Kosuke's face and went wide with disbelief.
Kosuke, is that really you? You shouldn't have come. I didn't want to drag you into this.
I know about the box. I read the letters. I know about the Nakamura family and what you did for them.
Then you know I failed you. I couldn't protect anyone. Not your mother, not them, not you.
Failed. He gave up everything. Why can't he see that?
Silence filled the room, thick with 10 years of unshed tears, and the monitor beeped on, counting down the minutes neither knew how to fill. The silence shattered when Kosuke finally spoke, his voice thick with restrained fury.
Why didn't you tell me? You let me believe you were a monster for 10 years.
I didn't want you to hate your mother. That secret would have destroyed her for you.
So you let me hate you instead? I did. I hated you every single day, and it ruined me.
I am sorry. I am so sorry. I thought you'd be better off without me.
Better off. I was alone. No father, no mother, just this rage.
His voice broke, and tears spilled down his face, the first time in a decade.
I can't change it, but the truth is in that box. It was my only way to make things right.
The anger bled out, leaving only the hollow ache of years lost. He sagged back into the chair. Then, slowly, Kosuke's hand found his father's. For the first time in 10 years, they held on. The door opened a crack, and Reina's silhouette appeared against the corridor light, hesitant and hopeful.
You are the nurse, the quiet one. You are behind this, aren't you?
I only wanted to give back what you gave my family. A chance to be known.
Thank you for bringing him, for everything you've done.
Reina nodded, fresh tears spilling, then quietly slipped out and closed the door.
The Nakamura payments. Why did you keep giving them money when you had nothing?
It was nothing. I had to. That family lost so much because of our secret. I couldn't fix it, but I could try.
It wasn't nothing. You gave Reina a future. You paid for it with your own.
I never expected anything in return, just wanted to leave the world a little less broken.
And for the first time, Kosuke realized the man beneath the silence had been a quiet monument to stubborn, clumsy love. The next afternoon, Kosuke returned, carrying a worn book with a broken spine.
You used to fall asleep before the 3rd chapter. I'd carry you to bed every night.
And you'd trip over my shoes in the hall. Mom would yell at you for waking her up.
Then something unexpected. A rusty laugh, the first in a decade, cracked the quiet of the room. Over the next days, Kosuke returned. No grand confessions, just fragments of a life they'd once shared.
Remember the time you tried to fix the sink? Water everywhere. Your mother laughed for an hour.
You made me mop it up for a week. I hated it then. Now, it's a good memory.
But the monitor's rhythm grew weaker each day. Reina's chart notes, seen in passing, told a silent story. Neither spoke of the obvious. The debt of silence was being repaid in borrowed hours. Each visit, Kosuke lingered longer, as if his presence could anchor his father to the world. Later that afternoon, the doctor stepped out and gestured them to the corridor, his face unreadable. His words were precise. The decline had accelerated. A day at most.
A day, after a decade of silence, that's all the time we get. I am staying. No more running. I'll be here when he wakes up.
You should be here. He'll feel it, even if he doesn't show it.
Without another word, Kosuke canceled his train ticket, his thumb steady on the screen.
I wasted a decade. I won't waste these last hours.
He spent years hoping you'd come back, even when he said he didn't deserve it.
Kosuke nodded once, the gesture heavier than any words. Then he walked back into the room, ready to stand guard until the very end. The night deepened, and Kosuke sat alone in the dim room, his father's shallow breathing the only sound.
10 years of silence, and now I don't even know where to begin. Dad, I am sorry. I blamed you for everything. I was so wrong.
His voice cracked, and tears slipped down his cheeks, landing on the worn blanket.
You carried everything alone. You gave Reina a future. You were a good man.
His father's eyes remained closed, but his hand, resting on the blanket, twitched once.
I wish I could take back those years. I wish I had been here.
Then, faintly, the old man's fingers curled around his, a squeeze, weak but unmistakable.
He heard me. After a decade, he heard me.
Kosuke bowed his head and rested it on the edge of the bed. The silence finally warm. The first gray light of dawn bled through the window, painting the white sheets a cold blue. A weak pressure on his hand stirred Kosuke, and he looked up to find his father's eyes trying to focus.
Thank you for coming. I am proud of you. Don't carry any more guilt.
Don't carry guilt. He's the one dying, and he's worried about my guilt.
Then his eyes slid shut again, and the grip loosened as if he'd spent his last ounce of strength.
Reina, he spoke to me. Please come.
Reina burst through the door, her face pale with dread.
What did he say? Is he still with us?
He said he was proud of me. Then his eyes closed. I think he's slipping.
The monitor beeped slower now. A countdown neither of them could stop. The final beep stretched into a single, unwavering tone. The room fell into a deep quiet. Kosuke kept holding his father's hand, as if refusing to let go would turn back time. Then, slowly, he uncurled his fingers and laid the hand gently on the blanket. Reina stood frozen in the doorway, tears already staining her cheeks. He looked up and met her eyes, and in that glance, the whole monstrous weight of the moment passed between them. She moved to his side and placed a hand on his shoulder, sharing the silence. For a long while, neither moved. The only sound, the hum of the machines now quiet. Kosuke finally bowed his head, and the tears came, quiet and unashamed. He nodded once, a wordless thanks, and she nodded back, her own composure breaking. The dawn light fell across the bed, and at last, Kosuke felt the old wound begin to close. They stepped out of the room and sank onto a bench in the empty hallway, the fluorescent light humming above them.
Are you okay? I mean, will you be?
I will be. I don't think it's hit me yet, but I am not angry anymore. Thank you for the call, for dragging me here. I would have gone to my grave hating him.
I needed it too. Knowing the truth. It let me mourn my mother without blame.
Without a word, she covered his hand with hers, a brief, steady pressure.
We both had ghosts. Maybe now they can finally rest.
She carried this alone too. We're not so different after all.
They sat in the quiet, the corridor stretching into morning, the world slowly turning again. The bond was fragile, but real, a thread neither expected to find among the ruins of the past. They returned to the waiting room, where the box still sat open, its contents a testimony to love.
I'll keep this. Every letter, every receipt, He deserves to be remembered for who he was.
Are you sure? Some of those papers carry so much pain.
It's the truth. And now I know it wasn't abandonment. It was sacrifice.
She opened her phone, and they exchanged numbers, a simple but steady tether between them. They walked together through the lobby, the box tucked securely under his arm. Outside, the morning air was crisp, and the world felt a little lighter.
Until next time, Reina, let's not wait another decade.
She took his hand, her grip firm, a silent pact. Then they parted, each carrying a piece of the truth and the quiet hope of a new beginning. 1 week later, they met at the small columbarium, the autumn light pale through the high windows. Reina had arranged a small vase of white flowers. Kosuke held the worn box and a single folded letter. He opened the lid and set his letter inside, atop the yellowed papers, a reply only heaven would read. They bowed their heads in silence, the only sound the soft rustle of incense smoke. When she straightened, Reina wiped a quiet tear. Kosuke saw it, and a faint, tired smile touched his lips.
He would have been happy to know you came back.
He already knew. He told me without saying a word.
The past had been heavy, but standing there, it finally felt like history, not a wound. The ritual was simple, but it sealed something that had been open for a decade. As they turned to leave, Kosuke touched the urn once, then walked out into the daylight, the box under his arm. They stepped onto the platform as the afternoon train arrived, its whistle cutting the crisp air.
Call me when you are settled. And thank you for trusting me.
He boarded and leaned out the window, his eyes meeting hers with quiet gratitude. On the platform, she raised her hand, the wind ruffling her dark hair.
I will. Take care of yourself, Reina.
The train began to move. She turned and walked away, her figure growing smaller. Kosuke sank into his seat and lifted the box onto the table. He traced a finger along its worn edges as the city skyline rose in the distance. Some truths carve a hole in you. This one filled it back up, and somewhere in that quiet compartment, he smiled, a real one, for the first time in a decade.